Welcome to this special Monera class. Today we want to demonstrate how we can differentiate between electrolysis and displacement reaction, in which case we are looking at thermal decomposition, which means we are using application of heat, right? So we want to describe what is here. This is an electrolytic cell which is composed of the DC power supply, which is where we are generating the electricity from. Then here we have a rotor stand and clips holding our two electrodes. On this part is the anode, which is the positive electrode. This other part is the cathode, which is the negative electrode, where we want to show electroplating. Electroplating is coating a metal with another metal. This electrolyte, which is made up of the liquid substance in the beaker, is copper 2 sulfate. So the purpose of this experiment is to see how the migration of copper ion to the cathode will lead to deposition of copper metal around the electrode, in which case we are using spoon. So we want to see how we coat this spoon with copper. At the end of the day, the substance that is coating the spoon will be brown in color, which is copper brown, which is identical to copper. Then on this other side we have thermal decomposition, which is going to be a displacement reaction. We are using this substance, is made up of steel, and then we are using nail, which is iron or steel. So when we place this same substance on the flame and allow it to boil or heat to certain extent, at the end of the day there will be a displacement reaction, in which case copper is moving away from this solution and deposit itself around the nail. It will still give you same result, in which case we are going to have brown substance coating the nails, just as we have brown substance coating the spoon. So we have the same result but with different techniques. Here we have electrolysis, here we have thermal decomposition, which is a displacement reaction. This is already boiling. We will have to use this test tube holder to bring down this, and then we will use this faucet to introduce the nails, and then we'll leave it for some minutes. There will be a speedy reaction or displacement because we allowed the substance, the copper sulfate, to boil. Now you can see there is obvious difference between these two colors, because at this point the blueness of this one I'm holding is still showing that there has not been enough displacement, but here the color has definitely changed because some kind of dissociation has occurred and migration also has occurred. So we are going to put off this. We are putting it off, and then we will try to open this. So you can see that obviously that the spoon has been coated with what? Copper, which is symbolic of the color. What color is this? This is what? Brown, reddish brown, right? So that is an evidence of what? Deposition of copper that came out of this electrolyte and then migrated to the cathode, right? Because the copper ion is a positive ion. It is going to migrate towards the negative electrode, in which case the spoon is the cathode, the negative electrode here, right? So that is the result we are waiting for. I think if you look closely, you will see some bubbles around the nail. This is an evidence that migration is occurring there. Migration is movement of some of these ions, where in this case copper ion is migrating towards the nail, right? Good. So will it be in the right place to say that these bubbles are effervescence? That is the question, because mostly we can see effervescence where there is no heating, right? But here the question is if the bubbles around the nail are effervescence. Effervescence are bubbles that carry gases. It could also be in form of wave or disturbance, but that is in special cases. In this particular case, effervescence here is the bubble. So I believe it is now okay for us to check the results and then compare it with what we got from electrolysis. So we are now going to use this faucet to remove the nails. You can see our nails were once like the color of a steel compared to what we are seeing here, but now you can see obvious deposit of copper on the body. You can see it. This is copper deposited on the nail, and the color is obviously the same as what we saw on this spoon, right? You can compare. Someone else should try to remove one of these nails.